Hi, and welcome to our final Risk Smart video, helping you make smarter decisions and improving your pharma manufacturing processes. The fact is, we all are impacted by our daily decisions, and decisions always involve an element of risk. There is no such thing as zero risk, and our ability to make risk-smart decisions is key to improving compliance and productivity. In the first two videos in this series, which can be found here in the comments section, we talked about the vital importance of becoming risk-smart as opposed to risk-adverse, and looked at ways companies can transition to become both risk-smart and more effective. But this is easier said than done. Why? Well, most of us are programmed by evolution to be risk-adverse rather than risk-smart. To overcome this tendency to play it safe, we need a simple set of rules to help us make more logical, data-driven decisions to control our emotions and overcome our habit of relying on gut feel, which research tells us is when things usually go wrong.
In this video, we take you through a simple, highly effective and proven decision-making process we at NSF International call GUROT. This stands for Gap, Uncertainty, Risk Assessment, Options and Trade-offs. GUROT is a structured process to ensure all elements of a decision are considered carefully and in the right order. When making tough decisions, GUROT gives you the confidence to know, whatever decisions you come to, that it was well thought through and took all the relevant factors into account. It's important to practice using GUROT until it becomes a habit. Our tendency to make risk-averse, emotionally driven, gut-feel decisions is extremely powerful, so we have to practice GUROT often if we want it to become second nature.
Let's go through the GUROT decision-making process one letter at a time.
G stands for the gap between the stimulus or event and the decision you make. The bigger the gap, the better the decision. If you make a fast decision with no gap, your decision will be driven by emotion and gut feel rather than by logic and data. If you want to make a good decision, you need to create time for reflection and analysis to overcome our natural tendency to react without thinking. Let's imagine you're in your office at the end of a tough day. You're tired and you want to go home. Suddenly, one of your production team bursts in looking anxious. "We have a problem," he says. "I accidentally opened the wrong valve on the production vessel and half of the batch is now on the floor." How would you react? Responding emotionally with no gap, you might say, "What the heck did you do that for?" This type of destructive dialogue would immediately put the blame on the operator, potentially making him feel victimised. By creating a gap, even just a few deep breaths, your response will be more measured. "Okay, Sam, calm down. Don't worry, we can fix this. Just tell me what happened." You're far more likely to get the truth and the facts by using the gap to control your emotions. Remember the old saying, "Let's sleep on it"? Well, it's true. The more important the decision, the bigger the gap or the thinking time you need.
U is for uncertainty, a real killer in good decision making. Driving down uncertainty is one of the keys of good decision making. The first step is to gather all the facts around the decision to be made. Then minimize any assumptions you can make around the decision, although you may have to live with some assumptions. To banish as much uncertainty as possible, minimize those aspects of the decision you don't know by doing your best to find answers whenever possible. Your first objective is to drive down uncertainty, not to decide. The more uncertainty you have, the more likely you're going to make a bad decision. Once Sam has calmed down, you grab a pen and write FAU on a flip chart to record facts, assumptions, and unknowns. By this time, the rest of the production team have arrived, so this is your opportunity to make the right decision and make sure this never happens again. This process forces you to examine the incident from every angle. You find out that actually all valves look the same, and this was an accident just waiting to happen.
R stands for risk assessment. What is the severity of harm? What is the probability of this happening? Would we detect the consequences before it's too late? What are the steps we take to reduce severity of harm? reduced probability of occurrence or increased likelihood of detection. In our scenario, the production team confirmed the immediate risks have been contained. The floor has been cleaned. But other risks remain. The vessel has been quarantined and an investigation report raised to hold the batch. However, since the other vessels have the same valve design, the risk of reoccurrence remains high. Risk assessed.
O is for options in decision making. Good decision makers generate at least 2 to 3 options. Options encourage further discussion, debate, and exploration of the situation, which benefits the decision-making process. The more options you generate, the better your decision. Our production team's options might be changing the SOP, color tagging at-risk valves, stopping use of some vessels, and asking the supplier to redesign the valves. Just what are all your options?
Finally, the T is for trade-offs. In making your decision, what parts of the decision are you prepared to be flexible on? And what are you absolutely not prepared to give in on? Where are your red lines? Sam's production team acknowledged that they had to continue manufacturing, so the redesign of the valve had to wait. Some vessels could be taken out of operation, but not all. They could, however, colour tag the remaining vessels and retrain the operators as soon as possible.
There you have it. Create the space between the stimulus and your response, reduce uncertainty as much as possible, and assess and mitigate the risks before generating options and trade-offs. I don't have time for all this, you may say. But what is the cost of getting the decision wrong? Usually a lot higher.
Now you're armed to make well-considered and definitive decisions. Using the GUROT process isn't by any means perfect, but a considered decision will usually beat a poorly considered one, and will always beat indecision. Decision-making is a skill that can be refined and improved. Learning from your bad decisions is a really good way of becoming a great decision-maker.
We hope you enjoyed this Risk Smart video series from NSF International. If you missed any, you'll find them on our NSF International YouTube channel. To see GUROT in action, look for our YouTube video entitled NSF's 6 to Fix in 6 video, Decision Making Under Pressure Part 2, to see how our VP of Global Health Sciences, Martin Lush, used it to get his kids in the driving seat.
To find out more about how NSF International can help you improve your manufacturing processes, email us at pharmamail@nsf.org. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your colleagues. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.